Gin Kui, Yaks and Mash.
Guys, we are live at C2E2. It is Saturday.
Wow.
Are you exhausted yet?
I was exhausted by 12 o'clock because I decided to get here to try to get some comics signed, and that didn't work out. So I've been here literally all day.
You have a vendetta against Jason Fabok now, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. He's the man, though. We'll get into
So
recommendations.
you don't have a vendetta?
No.
Okay.
I did, but I don't now.
How many years have you been coming to C2E2 now? Mark. Because I know Brick just says he's going to come and never does.
3. Brick has been here half a day.
I came here once last year. Nope.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Last year you bailed.
Last year I bailed. I was over it. This year, I was into it, and then I didn't come yesterday, but came late today.
It literally took you a free badge. It took a free badge to get you to show up here. Are you at least having fun? Do you enjoy this at all?
Yes, dude.
Then why don't you ever want to come?
I got in a very
You got things to do?
I got in a great group at Apex yesterday, and I couldn't get away from it.
You're the worst.
See, everybody, all the kids nowadays are talking about how Apex is on the way out. Is it on the downslide?
No, it's season 1 just came out. No, it's on the up.
What's the deal with season 1? Why does that matter?
Literally, you just get more shit to unlock, and there's different characters and stuff like that. But I think it's going to upgrade just like Fortnite did.
Are they going to start charging money, EA Games?
They already did.
They did for season 1.
That's classic EA move.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense though, because they have to turn a profit on this somehow. They have a game that people actually don't hate in Apex Legends, so they have to capitalize on that.
It's rare.
There's so many great memes about that. It's like dinner with EA Games. It's like, or with somebody else, and it's just a plate with food, and it's like $100. And then EA Games is like itemizing everything else, like the fork, the spoon, everything.
A nice verbal meme, Mark.
The worst.
All right, back to C2E2. Mark, what's the best costume you've seen so far? We're looking Saturday afternoon. We still got some time left.
I just saw Doodle Bob. Doodle Bob was on point.
Does everybody know Doodle Bob, or is that just a
hope so.
nerd thing?
You know who Doodle Bob is,
Doodle
right?
Bob.
Obviously. I mean, he's got the pencil and everything. It's pretty great.
It's very quality.
You haven't been here long enough, but have you seen
I saw one that was brilliant, which was just only because I love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Peter Parker with Peter Porker on his shoulder.
the Spider Ham?
Yes,
Very nice.
Spider-Ham. It was great.
I've actually seen some pretty good Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Yes.
I saw Powdered Toast Man, which, if you're my age, you watch Ren and Stimpy. It's an amazing costume. It's very skin tight and uncomfortable, which is exactly what it should be. Got a little bit of a wedgie going on there. That's what you need to be Powdered Toast Man.
I think you're doing it right then. If that's
You got to
the
have
case.
something in your butt crack. Yeah.
Lodged up there.
What makes a good Dragon Ball Z cosplay is 100% the wig. If the wig is off, it's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
The wig has to be on point, otherwise the whole costume's ruined.
What about, hold on, we saw this coming in. What about, what's her freaking name from Space Jam? The bunny.
Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny.
So there
Lola
is
Bunny.
a photorealistic Lola Bunny here.
Kind of creepy.
No, because it kind of looks like a furry.
No, creepy watching people look.
Yeah, like
very,
the face with the expression that won't change is terrifying, to be perfectly honest.
Honestly, actually, we saw a bunch of the Scooby-Doo gang had a very good cosplay, just as a collective group. They dominated.
I saw a full crew of Cobra Kai fighters here,
Amazing.
which is pretty good. Yeah,
Amazing.
I still am waiting for the day that someone can top the guy that was dressed as Powerline.
Oh my God, dude.
That was 2 years ago. I will never forget that guy. It's one of my favorite pictures of all time. And, you guys know that I can't force a smile very well for a picture.
No, you can't.
Erica took a picture of me with this dude, and she's like, I've never seen you smile like that in your entire life. I don't know what to say. You're not even going to look like this at our wedding. Just be happy. And dress like Powerline, and I'll smile at our wedding.
You work exclusively from frowns.
I do. I can't help it. It's just, this is my face, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate, but that's what it is.
Yeah, it is
if anybody knows
unfortunate.
unfortunate faces, it's Brick.
That's true.
I'm going to have so much fun pulling teeth when I'm being the photographer during his wedding day.
No, I'm just going to get drunk.
Oh.
Can you talk into your microphone?
I am.
Can you talk into both microphones?
Two
I can't,
microphones.
because I got to look this way.
You can move that, right?
I'll move this way.
It's almost like you've never been on a podcast before.
This is the first time doing it with dual mics, dude.
I should mention that
Look at me. Look at Brick, dude.
he's actually,
I'm a
he
pro.
sounds good. Anyways, I should mention that Chuck from Chuckload of Comics, the YouTube channel, and our old friend, was nice enough to let us use his booth briefly. He's away at a panel right now. He's been doing some awesome interviews. He had DMC from Run DMC here earlier today.
No way.
That was sick.
No way.
He's talking to all sorts of really cool comic creators. I just met Terry Moore, who does Strangers in Paradise.
Nice.
And I sat in on an interview that I was not prepared for at all, but we met. Have you guys seen the story of the guy who's giving away his comic book shop in the southwest side of
Yes.
Chicago?
Yeah.
It's Chimera Comics.
Has it been
the
given
guy
away?
is awesome. It hasn't been given away yet, but they did have a verbal contract to say that he was going to announce the winner on Chuck's show, so that's pretty cool.
Damn, that is.
He is an awesome guy. His name is Carmelo Chimera.
That's a sick name.
He sounds like a supervillain, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, he's actually just the Willy Wonka of comic book stores because he's giving his away to just some random person.
I want that golden ticket.
The guy is, I mean, he can talk. Watch the interview on Chuckload of Comics. It's youtube.com/Chuckload of Comics. The guy has so much to say. He's doing his best to put positivity back into the world, which most of us aren't. We're just here to make fun of shit and each other. Awesome guy. He's really intelligent. He's got 2 comic book shops, and he's going to give it away. He's going to give away 1 location to a lucky contestant. So
what a boss.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are the B team, maybe the C team for Chuckload of Comics, filling in at the moment.
Tony's smiling, but he knows what's up. No, it's Chuck. Chuck was nice enough to let us sit in here. Obviously, he's looking for content. We're talking next year. I think we just get 2 booths next to each other. Like, if you turn around and look right there, I can just picture us having a couch here.
And then Chuck just says, that's not happening.
No, he thought it was a good idea. Yeah, and also, if you have a couch, you can take a nap.
It's true.
Naps are necessary at C2E2.
I would agree. I've been here for an hour, and I'm already tired.
We should bring the couch from your basement that we record on.
And the chump pit monitor.
That couch can never. The next time that couch leaves through a doorway, it will be in pieces because it doesn't fit anywhere. Thank God I paid movers because that was such a bitch. Anyways, nobody cares about that. That's not why you called. What else are you looking forward to doing this weekend, Mark?
Man, I just got my comic book signed. I really have nothing else to do. I'm going to come here late as hell tomorrow because I was here bright and early today. I don't know. What time are you going to get here tomorrow, Brick?
Whenever you guys tell me to get here.
You're never going to come tomorrow.
Coming.
You're not coming tomorrow.
What?
0% chance.
You guys set the bar very low.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that.
You teach people what to expect from you.
Okay.
Which is very little.
Yeah. And,
okay. Have you seen it? Did you see the video game stations that are over here? There's some Dance Revolution set up. They got some fighting tournaments going on.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Okay, I'm going to have to hit that up after this. I was too busy trying to figure out when we're going to record and waiting in the longest beer lines of all time.
Yeah, I got to say that the beer lines on Saturday are not fun.
They're trash.
Very not fun. So sneak in your own booze. I mean,
Can we talk about yesterday a little bit? You weren't here, Brick, but Smithers literally was bodied by Ming Chen.
So this is where I cut in.
Bodied.
This is where I cut in the best man alive drop because my worst man alive and my new mortal enemy is Ming Chen from Comic Book Men.
Amazing.
So, a little backstory. Chuck and Shauna are, he's nice enough to come and talk to Chuck and Shauna on Chuckload of Comics. Shauna is like, I'm exhausted. I'm so hungry. Can you please sit in and do this for me? Because she wants to take a break.
Just take a smile, Smithers.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
I would have been fine just sitting here with a fake smile, thinking about Powerline. So Shauna starts to walk away, and Ming goes, No. He's not sitting in on this. I want you to do it. Basically telling me to fuck myself.
Well, basically saying it's a huge sausage fest right now.
But he was acting like I was kicking her off the show because she was a woman, when in reality she asked me to do her a favor.
I
was like, come on, man.
Body.
That was the best thing ever. I wanted to get a selfie with Ming just so I could send it to you every day.
Yeah, you
of your
should.
Life.
No, is he still here? We need to seek him.
He's all of 5'1".
Amazing.
And Mark put it best. He fucking bodied me right out of there, dude. He made a very powerful enemy that day.
That's a power move.
We saw him at the bar, and I was just like peeking around the corner, scowling at him like, you motherfucker.
Too scared to make a move, though.
He pulled the best move, though, getting out of here, because there was a bunch of people waiting to get his autograph and take a picture and everything. He did pulled out the phone. I guarantee he wasn't on the phone.
No
chance. He
pulled
out the phone and was like talking and just walking away.
You can tell the guys that have been doing this, guys and girls that have been doing this for a long time. I walked past Rob Liefeld earlier today, creator of Deadpool, a bunch of other shit, and he's in a really crowded line, and he's trying to, you can tell he's trying to get food or go to the bathroom or something. And I make eye contact with him, and I'm about to go, hey, Rob. And he looks at me and he goes, no. Shaking his head like, please don't blow up my spot. Nobody else knows who I am. Please just let me go. And I was like, I got you, man. I get it.
I love how everyone's over these comic book creators or whatever. And then last time I was here, I should say, not last year, just saw Martellus Bennett just walking to Super Bowl, and I was like, oh, yo, what's up, man? You're the man.
No, we were
up with him.
We're walking with Decker, and we're like, I think that might be Martellus Bennett.
Yeah.
We're walking past just being nice and not interrupting his day, and Brick turns around like an idiot and goes, yo, Marty! like a fucking idiot.
Did he turn around, though?
No, I went up to him, shook his hand, said, "What's up? Yo, I love your play. You're the man.
I mean, I don't know what I
Love
expected.
John the Bears. You're sick."
Have you gone to the booth for whoever's doing the comic books and drawing those? Who's the player? It's not Bennett.
No, it's Israel Adonijah.
Yes. Have you been in his booth?
No.
He's got really cool prints of like Tariq Cohen and a bunch of players on the Bears, like full size, like 10 by 12 prints. They're awesome.
Very cool.
I would check out that booth if you're here at C2E2 for sure.
My man Darian in the crowd. Finally.
Damn, Darian's here.
First time I met him in my life. In like 20 minutes we'll meet for real, though. Dope.
So he walked up yesterday to say hello, and I assumed it was him, and I ran up and grabbed him and gave him a big hug and picked him up. And Shauna goes, "Do you know that guy?" And I was like,
Hopefully.
"Wait a
I hope
second.
so.
I fucking hope so."
Yeah.
But Darian hung out for a little bit. I got some weird-ass Snapchats from you last night, man.
Me too.
What was that
the hell
Instagram
was that?
story about? Just hammered. I gave my best man alive. Are you guys totally unprepared to do this?
I got to give mine up to John Mayer. He has a little like show on Instagram that he does, and he had Dave Chappelle on the other day and another artist, and they had some controversy pop up because Dave Chappelle was being Dave Chappelle and he was kind of drunk, but John Mayer did a great job and really brought the problem to the forefront. Basically, Dave was being a comedian and called the guy gay, just like the artist that he was with.
Oh, I saw that.
And the artist was like, "Yo, man, that's not cool." And then they just like went back and forth, and just John Mayer brought it to the forefront and handled the situation really well. Either way, his show that he has on Instagram is actually funny.
It's the
I think he's
best.
such a well-spoken person and he's the man.
Very intelligent. Isn't it weird, though, that a comedian can just say that and be like, "Yeah, I'm a comedian. I can say that." And if John Mayer said it, everybody'd be all over his ass.
Yeah. Well, he was just like that. That's the thing. Is like as a comedian, you got to be. There are boundaries, but there aren't at the same time because you got to. If once we cross that line, it comes.
And Dave Chappelle is established enough that you know what you're
Absolutely.
getting. You know exactly what. If you go to Dave Chappelle and you get offended by something he says, that's on you.
Exactly.
Because you didn't do your research. You didn't know what he gets into ahead of time.
Dave's the best.
Yeah.
Favorite of all time.
Will you go to a John Mayer concert with me, please?
I've been to a John Mayer concert and he shreds, dude.
He's coming to the UC in
Doesn't he
a
tour
month
with
or
like
so.
the Grateful Dead?
Yeah.
Is that what you went to?
No. When I dated Lisa back in the day in college.
Name drop.
Yeah.
Look at me. I've had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Fiance
Cool.
himself. Mr. Fiance himself.
Now, speaking of which, she's at a bar right now on her bachelorette party. She FaceTimed me earlier, and she's just absolutely wrecked. That's going to be a really fun thing to come home to tomorrow.
Hopefully there aren't any toilets to be broken.
You know, I could really just blow up your spot right now. You just
We all
tread
could,
carefully,
easily.
okay?
Hey, 2019, boy.
Fuck that toilet. That toilet shouldn't have looked at me funny.
It's great. I agree.
I regret nothing. Mark, do you have a best man alive?
I do. I was going to obviously say Jason Fabok,
The man who
favorite.
you've gone from hating to loving to hating.
Yes. He draws.
Love and hate is a fine line.
He draws the Batman I envision as the Batman. He draws it perfectly. So I'm going to gush over him a little bit, but it actually isn't him. I just got his autograph, and they were only letting people. This is classic Comic-Con goers, where they can only let you sign like 2 things. So I had my 2 things out, and I'm really pissed because I wanted 4. And the guy with his daughter was there, and she's like, well, he was like, she only has 2 things. I'll sign your 2 things as well. I'm like, all right. So I got 4 things signed from Jason Fabok. He's actually a really cool guy.
So the real best
Talk
man
a little
alive is
bit.
that dad who...
It's the dad, 100%.
That
Wherever
dad has
that dad is.
99 awareness. Hell yeah. That guy's the man.
Best man alive, that dad.
Very nice. So
Dad. Dope.
we had a couple trailers this week that I think we want to talk about because nothing can happen in the John Wick universe without us gushing over it. Is that fair to say?
I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah, that was number 2, dude.
The crowd wants us to talk about the puppy. That dog looks mean as shit, and I can't wait to watch him destroy somebody.
What about the movie posters? Those are some awesome looking
The
movie posters.
weirdest one is Jason Mantzoukas. He's just like he never doesn't look disheveled. He always looks like he just got hit by a bus. And that's probably what makes him so funny, but I've been rewatching The Good Place, and his character on that is hilarious. He's just fully unhinged at all moments in time.
That's his perfect character. He's typecast as a psychopath, and I'm about that.
So back to the John Wick trailer, though, because Halle Berry's got some German Shepherds in there, too. This is going to be a very dog-heavy movie.
Perfect.
But does that mean that more dogs are going to die?
No, they're not going to do that.
You just don't want them to die. You can't say no because you don't know. I think that it It should be like, you know, the MPAA does like violence, nudity, drug use. There should be like dogs
violence.
dying warnings before you go see a movie. I got to know what I'm getting into.
Agreed, because I don't even watch movies with dogs in them because I don't want them to die.
Right. I mean, you can't ever watch Marley and Me. You know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
So
I'm going to fall in love with that freaking dog, and then you're going to die, and then I'm going to be pissed and sad for too long. Can't even do it.
It
Can't
did
do
come
it
out during Christmas.
Even Alpha, it's a wolf. He makes friends with a wolf, and I'm like, that wolf's going to die. I'm not going to watch it.
All right, what else did you guys notice from the trailer?
A little more of that shot where he's on the horse and just gunning people down on motorcycles.
Motorcycle sword fights are something that I didn't know that I needed.
He wasn't gunning. Yeah, did he have a sword?
He had a sword. Well, he took a sword from somebody who was trying to kill him with a sword.
Champions adjust.
This is just
John
like
Wick
a
killing it.
13-year-old in high school. It's like, I'm going to throw everything I can into this movie, and I'm totally here for that.
I like how he ingratiates the animals. Who needs a motorcycle when you can have a horse?
I don't think you used that word right, but let's move on.
Yeah.
Ingratiates.
No, wait. The best part of the trailer was when they cut it with the symphony and the classical music, when they're like, John Wick is here. And then they cut in all that music, and he's just gunning everyone down. And he throws the gun in that scene. They show that again.
Woo! That's like polar opposite of the announcement, I guess you could call it, trailer for Bill and Ted 3, because they dropped that this week, and it's like polar opposite. It just shows you the range that Keanu has. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves, and I'm here to keep plugging him for the end of time.
Dude, my brother and I were watching Hardball the other day, and he's
Brilliant.
And as Keanu Reeves comes in, and I love it when you call me Big Papa, and he was like, it was terrible at the moment. And my brother was like, yo, John Wick is, Keanu Reeves is such a bad actor.
You can just call him John Wick.
That works too. But then, as he's giving G-Baby's eulogy, and I was like, yeah, is he a bad actor now, dude? And he's
Shane
like,
Falco?
no.
Come on.
Shane Falco, you can't
Brilliant.
teach art.
What's a better performance, his Shane Falco in Replacements or his Keanu Reeves, whoever his name is, in Hardball?
I'm going to go with Shane Falco.
Shane Falco.
Ultimate leader.
What a quarterback name.
Shane Falco is the
100%.
man.
Can't teach heart, dude.
Do you think we should get Falco jerseys for next year?
Sold, dude.
You want to be
I'd
you
love
could be the
Shane
kicker
Falco.
and just like have a cig hanging out of your mouth and drunk all the time.
That does fit my persona 1,000. Or
A little bit more.
I kind of want to be the center and eat 1,000,000 eggs.
Or you
and
can be
puke everywhere.
crazy
I do that
Jon
too.
Favreau.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Jon Favreau, dude.
Favreau's great.
You got to wear the neck roll though.
I have a neck
Sick.
roll. I have a neck roll.
Please tell me you're not joking.
No, I'm not.
That's amazing. All right, we also got a trailer for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Star-studded cast. Brad Pitt, Leo, Margot Robbie. This is...
Woo!
I don't know what to expect from this because Tarantino's doing a very good job his ninth time around by not really giving you much of the story.
Yes. What did... Wilpo was telling me something about how Quentin Tarantino's only doing 10 movies.
He's always said that. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's only going to do 10. That's just like, that's been his plan from the beginning. So I don't know. He can make movies for as long as he wants.
He will.
What the fuck else would he do?
Sit on his bankroll and do nothing.
He could do that now.
That's true. But you got to at least reach the goal you said. He's a goal-oriented individual.
For as long as he has stories to tell, he'll keep making movies. And I'll keep going to see them.
When I saw the trailer for this, I actually thought it was amazing. I saw it in the movie theater for us. And once Leo at the end started crying because that girl was like, that's the best actor I've ever seen. And I was like, dude, how does Leo...
He is the best actor ever.
How do you capture
You
that?
watch
That
him in that
little-
trailer, you're just like, God, how does he do that?
That little girl is an amazing actress. She's in American Housewife.
Yep.
She
Yeah.
plays a fully psychotic kindergartner. So funny. I can't wait to see her in that movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Perfectly cast. I'm actually super jazzed. I've been jazzed about this since I read the
Since
cast.
they announced, exactly. Since they announced the cast, it's been
Margot
something
Robbie
When I was
Jack- do a good
accidentally
job, too.
scrolling through IMDb about what Leo roles are coming up, I was like, holy shit, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, everybody. There's 1,000,000 people in this movie.
And we still don't even know what it's about, really. It's an
Stunt double.
actor and a stunt double.
Something.
Plus, it's a period piece. You know, I'm a sucker for a period piece.
I wonder how he's going to insert the gore in this one.
That'll be interesting to see. Because you can't kill Leo, right? You can't kill Leo in a movie.
Is it like movie set gore
Yeah, you
where we
can.
know it's fake? Or is it going to be actual gore? That's what I don't know.
Leo hasn't died in a movie since fucking Titanic.
So you can kill Leo in a movie.
No,
Fact.
because he wasn't Leo then.
Fact.
He was just like Leonardo
He was
DiCaprio.
still Leo.
No, he wasn't.
Ben
Yeah, oh,
Affleck
yeah.
just died in Triple
Well,
Frontier. If
yeah.
he can die,
Spoilers,
Leo can
bro.
die.
He only died
That
in
is a
that
huge
because he
spoiler.
wasn't directing or producing it.
Basketball Diaries was dark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very dark.
That's how you describe that movie, is dark.
That's how Leo. That was Leo before Titanic, which means he was still good. You can kill him afterwards. Fuck you.
Great explanation. All right, so we're not going to do a full episode today, obviously, because we got shit to go do. But we did
actually because Chuck is giving us right now. He's let's get offset.
He actually doesn't know we're here, and he's on his way back, so we got to run.
Yeah, Chuck's got a wrap it up box, and we're done.
But we are going to talk about a movie that we've been really excited to see, which is Us. Came out this week. We all saw it Thursday night, thankfully. The second of Jordan Peele's directorial pictures he produced, directed. So this is getting a lot of critical buzz. At last check, it was 94% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, much lower from fans.
Really?
It's like in the 60s, which is still not bad. But also, you're going to have people kind of messing around. I don't trust the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes anymore.
Never
you need
did.
somebody. You need like the IMDb score with 20,000 rankings before you can really figure out what people think. And even then, there's people on there that are just being dicks.
Yeah.
As we said, this is the second movie. We've got Winston Duke, who's playing the father of a family. His wife, Lupita Nyong'o, is probably the main character. Is that fair to say? What?
Sorry, I thought that was Powerline, but it wasn't.
I would have dropped this microphone and left you.
I had a heart attack. I was like, Anyway, God, sorry to ADD you.
So I think it's probably impossible that you haven't seen a trailer for this movie at some point if you're listening to this show. There are duplicates or clones or something of this family who's at their lake house for the summer. And basically it's a slow burn unraveling of the motivation and where they came from and everything else. So why don't you guys start by telling me, Mark, what was the level of jackness and murder in this movie?
Oh, who's the guy that plays M'Baku?
Winston Duke.
Is that Winston Duke? Okay.
Yes.
I mean, he's a big dude.
He's so huge.
In general, yes. There was some jackness in this movie.
I think he's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
He's got some chops.
He was great, and he was hilarious in this movie.
He was funny when he was in Black Panther, when he was dead serious the entire time.
Very true.
I think that he's really going to be the next big hit, and I'm excited to see what he does next. I was reading a couple stories about how he almost didn't get this role because he was too big and intimidating. And I think that kind of makes sense from a horror standpoint because you want him to feel threatened, right?
They did a great job of disarming him like almost immediately.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he would have just been like, "Oh, I'm a big bamf and I'm going to murder everybody."
He did like try to put on that big voice though when he comes outside and there's people standing. Like that's hilarious.
That's what's great about Jordan Peele movies. From like Get Out, there's always like that element of humor that he kind of brings to the forefront in these weird, creepy situations, and they did a good job in this one too. Well,
I think that horror and comedy kind of go hand in hand. You know, they're both
to some extent.
They're both trying to take you out of reality a little bit, right?
Agreed.
So I think that Jordan Peele obviously has the pedigree to do whatever the hell he wants.
Plus, situational humor is also
yes. And even there were some things that probably weren't supposed to be funny, but ended up being funny.
Those are the best.
When Winston Duke's clone is just like screaming into the night, I was the only person in the theater dying, but I was dying.
No, everyone in my theater was dying laughing.
Well, were you in a packed theater?
Yeah,
I was.
It was full.
We talked last week about what's going to unseat Captain Marvel, and it might actually be this movie for #1 box office for the weekend. That would be a huge get because this is rated R, obviously. Horror film, not really getting the same audiences.
Yeah,
true. That would be a massive success. Great.
More. Well,
you guys are really helping me out.
Pretty much nailed that comment. Yeah. Continue on, dog.
All right, so why don't you guys tell me what you thought of the acting overall in this movie?
It was weird for the actor to portray
You're playing two roles
in a different style. And I think they did a really good job of doing that. And they added that element of creepiness with like the voices.
Yeah, I could have done without that.
But like when they first brought that up, I was like, "Ooh, that is fucking creepy." But at the same time, I could do that voice too. It was just like, But I think they did a really good job with the acting.
Lupita Nyong'o has an excellent terrified face. You can tell that Jordan Peele knew that because of all the really close shots that they were taking of her in tense situations.
She was the creepiest clone in this whole movie.
Yeah, by far.
I agree. The body language as well from that creepy clone, how she walks like robotically, but and like methodically. It just like took a weird turn, and that's what I like about Jordan Peele's movies. It's like they're horror movies, as he specifically tweeted out, but they have a weird like twist on them that really kind of brings me into it.
So I was kind of waiting for the twist in the plot for this, and I don't know that we really got it. When Get Out came, it was like a social thriller, right? It had social undertones, and this kind of avoids that. I don't really think there was much, there definitely wasn't as much of that here. Did you guys see anything maybe I missed?
No, yeah.
Because I think this was pretty much a straight up horror movie.
It was.
I think it was more of just a broader sense of we always look for something special in certain things and think things are exclusive when...
And I think I know where you're going with that. He drops hints everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything is an allusion to something that will come later in the movie. The 11/11...
A lot of foreshadowing.
The stuff, and it's great because he's dropping little hints, like you've got the ambulance in the door, stuff like that. That's going to come back into play later. I like that kind of storytelling. So he makes use of everything. You know, we talk about Chekhov's gun, and he doesn't ever waste anything. If he shows you that gun, it's going to get used at some point.
Fact. Can we talk about the score?
Please.
Hold on, we got to talk about the characters a little more. So Lupita, by far, I think the best acting performance in this.
Yeah.
We have Evan Alex, he's evil, he's Jason and evil Jason. I thought there was a chance where evil Jason, the way that kid was moving, if that really is him in that, Jesus.
Why? That's all I can say about the character is why. Why was he walking around on all fours like a dog?
Maybe he just was never taught to walk.
Because it was fucking creepy.
Aren't they supposed to be the inverse of the real people?
The kid was playing with fire the whole time, and then he just burnt to shit.
Yeah, but he also didn't walk on all fours like a weirdo.
I think to run, he would go down on all fours, but when he was... Yeah, that sounded really bad. Really bad.
Look, can we talk about the running forms?
Okay, here we go. Here's the new weekly segment: is how does everybody run in this movie?
They don't run like Tom Cruise, obviously, but still.
Yeah, they don't run like Muppets.
No, but the girl, you can't be like. Okay, who's the dad? William Dukes.
Winston Duke.
William Dukes.
Winston Dukes, dude.
How many times have I said his name?
You can't be telling your daughter she could be an Olympic sprinter if she runs with terrible form. That had me irked. That was one of my things. I was just irked about that.
You are.
I'm a stickler for a run form.
How do you notice anything else in a movie when all you're doing is focusing on how people are running?
People don't run that much in movies.
People run all
walking.
It's a horror movie. Everybody's running.
It's a lot of walking.
What did you think of Winston Duke's showdown with two characters? Himself and later on Elizabeth, what's her name? Elizabeth
Moss.
Thank you. Elizabeth Moss.
That's the first time I ever came up on a name.
Yeah, wow.
Dude, you're
coming
so
up
bad
big.
at names.
Happy opposite day. I thought those were some pretty good showdowns. That was pretty tense.
No, they were great. I liked Eric from the Eric and Tim and Eric show.
Oh, yeah.
He was actually, it was hilarious just to see him. And now just him himself. They had a great little dynamic, I thought.
Was there anything that you didn't really care for in this?
Besides the running forms?
Yeah, let's focus on stuff that actually matters.
Yeah. The beginning, kind of the whole premise of it was like, oh, you had a traumatic experience at Santa Monica Beach or Santa Cruz. I don't know where it was. Don't buy a house there.
Well, they mentioned that it was their grandma's house.
Her parents, yeah.
Yeah. It was the kid's grandparents' house, so they passed away, and then they get to go to the house. They inherited
that checks out. I missed that part.
Yeah, because you were focusing on how people run.
Well, it pissed me off.
Well, she didn't tell her husband either, so he had no idea what that really meant.
It's kind of a plot hole, right? Like if you marry somebody, you probably tell them that story.
You have some traumatic experience as such. Yeah.
But again, it is kind of a crazy story to have in the beginning.
I guess.
Yeah, I saw myself in a mirror, and then she choked me and killed me, basically.
Wow, spoilers.
Wow, no spoilers here.
I thought that the way that they told the story and the pace that they kept, the first act is all set up, which makes sense, but then the next two acts is complete
Edge of
tension.
your seat,
there's no calm portion of this movie after the first act.
Absolutely.
So it's different than jump scares or whatever else. It's just pure tension. You're clenching your butt cheeks the whole time.
Would you consider this a horror movie?
Yeah, I think it has to be. What else? What other genre would have?
Well, the reason I asked is because Jordan Peele actually tweeted, because a lot of IMDb's and Rotten Tomatoes they were making a thriller movie, and he tweeted, "This is a horror movie." He said, "Us is a horror movie." So I'm just asking, do you really feel it was? I mean, that's his whole background.
Is like a subgenre of horror?
Thriller was a Michael Jackson album.
Yeah.
No,
great album.
Yeah, you're probably right, and you're picking nits when you go down that route, but. Also, it wasn't really that scary.
It wasn't. That was one of my main problems.
It was mysterious. It was mysterious, and you wanted to know what was going on and kind of how it was going to all unfold.
It was mysterious.
I thought it was kind of a weird choice. for them to make this rated R because it didn't really need to be. I mean, slasher movies have generally been PG-13, and there isn't over-the-top gore. They don't swear a lot. They don't do drugs. Like, I don't really understand the purpose of that. They would have made a lot more money had they gone PG-13.
You do make a point. Besides all the blood on the walls, there really isn't that much of a graphic scene.
You can show blood on the walls.
And I can't remember much, like, swearing. Like,
no.
Dropping the F-bomb, too. Like, not even...
They had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have loved to see that little kid drop an F-bomb.
He did, though, in the car,
Fuck
right?
yeah.
He sweared, but
No,
he sweared, but they were like, "Oh, don't swear," whatever.
I like that parent dynamic.
Okay, so
they did have a good dynamics, parents, I think.
Are we actually going to spoil this?
No.
Okay.
We shouldn't.
Well, we have to at least talk about how we felt about the ending, because I was left wanting a little bit more. Mark and I actually talked about this yesterday. I am of the mind that they told not enough, and you think they told too much. Somewhere in the middle is the truth, but can you elaborate?
Yeah, I think it's hard to not spoil it through elaborating, but the big reveal at the end with the clone, with Lupita's clone, I think they give away too much. Unless, I don't think he left it open-ended at all. I think he basically told you, this is what happened, this is exactly what happened.
You're right. It's open and shut, but there is room there for a sequel.
I agree.
I don't know that this is obviously going to be a box office success, because pretty much anything with Jordan Peele attached to it right now will be.
Yeah, so was Get Out, but I don't think they're going to do a sequel to that. It's just, I think this is going to be a standalone. Because I don't think
Get Out didn't need a sequel.
Damn, I never thought about that. They could have done a sequel to Get Out.
I don't think they need.
They could have focused on that whole community of people.
Absolutely.
Damn.
I think this is going to be a standalone movie. I think I want Jordan Peele to keep doing these weird individual stories, make an anthology of all the crazy, weird horror stories that you want to tell. And seeing this movie really validates me and really excites me for what he's going to do with the Twilight Zone as well.
I think he's just hosting that. I don't know that he has any writing or producing duties.
You don't think he threw in some ideas?
I hope that he did.
Absolutely.
I hope that he did.
Killing it in that horror genre, dude.
Do you think he'll ever leave the horror genre?
He'll go back to comedy at some point. Eventually. I would think. I still think that Key and Peele is one of the most underrated sketch shows of all time.
I agree. Oh. It's hard. That's like Key and Peele came out after Dave Chappelle's sketch show, which is like doing the Joker after Heath Ledger.
Which Joaquin Phoenix is going to do admirably. So
exactly, and there needed to be someone to step in, which was what's his face, unmemorable, doesn't matter at all. Peace.
I'm getting some looks of incredulity right now from the audience.
Incredulity, nice word.
We'll see. We'll see this fall. I bet he's going to.
Joaquin Phoenix.
We'll see.
Oh, he's not.
Oh
Heath Ledger,
no, we're not saying
it's
that.
Different spin. That doesn't mean he has to be Heath Ledger.
He just won't be as bad as Jared Leto.
Wow, really setting the bar high.
But we didn't get enough of Jared Leto, dude.
I've had enough of Jared Leto. Okay.
Exactly.
So what else do we have to say about this movie? Brick, how did you feel about the ending?
I kind of wish it was a little more open-ended, as in it leaves a little bit to like the viewer itself. But honestly, I loved the whole thing. The whole thing was great. I think especially the score itself, which we didn't really get into.
Go ahead.
The music in this was freaking spot on.
So are you talking about the score or the soundtrack?
Both.
Okay.
Because the score is also the soundtrack all-encompassing, right?
The soundtrack is like when they played NWA.
Yeah,
the score is like...
Yeah, but
the score was weird.
The score
is very weird.
The score includes the soundtrack. That's the entire thing of the soundtrack.
I completely disagree.
That is the entirety of the movies.
No.
Look it up on Webster.
Okay, whatever.
Either way,
just say what you got to say.
Webster.
Either way,
let me go to my bookcase.
When in the end-ish, when they're doing like the face-off with the clone, they have that rendition of "I Got Five" on it with the violins.
In the trailer.
Yes, dude. I don't watch trailers, so I didn't see that.
I was sold after that song.
But I loved the way they did it. It was creepy, and it was just like in the moment. I loved the violins. I just thought everything that he did with the music was fantastic, which really kind of built into like why I like this movie so well.
So I'm getting FaceTimed by a bunch of drunk women right now. I am talking into a microphone. We are in the middle of recording.
Yo, what up?
That is my drunk fiance at her bachelorette party. So
FYI.
thanks. I will call you in a little bit.
Are they at Federales right now?
Yes, of course they are.
FYI, I got the biggest reaction when we did the panned all three of us. Just saying.
What a train wreck. All right, so My thoughts on the end of the movie, though. Wow, that is an excellent costume of the mayor from
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas. Jeez. That might...
Awesome.
I don't know if that's better
That
than
looks
Doodle
so
Bob.
cumbersome. Like, just walking around in that all weekend. That would be such a pain in the ass. I love the costume.
It has a reverse face.
That's dedication, though.
I love being able to change personalities immediately because I'm a
You do that
psycho.
every day.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay,
psychopath.
let's wrap this up.
As far as actually telling the story, though, and the motivation for why the clones existed in the first place, I felt like they really left that too open-ended. They don't really give you the reasoning. They don't give you the motivation for that. So
I agree.
That's the biggest problem that I had with this movie.
Sure.
I thought it was well executed. The cinematography was excellent. The acting was obviously great. The writing was good. But that's kind of where you lost me on it. And if I was going to rate this, obviously, I would still say go see it in a theater. I think
Agreed.
it's worth it.
Same.
You see this in a packed theater. Like, don't try to go in the middle of the day. You want to see this with a bunch of people around you. You want the laughs. You want people like on the edge of their seat. You want to feel that room tension.
For me,
let's rate it. Are you going to rate it?
For me, it's a see it as well because I think I want to see more of this genre. I want to see more of Jordan Peele doing his horror movies. The whole thing is, again, theater experience, and it's rare for like the horror genre to go to the theater and see it. But
We haven't had it in a while.
go see this movie.
Probably
It's
not
awesome.
since Get Out,
I agree.
to be honest.
I agree.
Oh, no,
Couldn't
maybe
agree more.
it. It was pretty good.
It was great.
Yeah.
What about Quiet Place?
I
didn't see it.
No, see, when I saw that in the theater, I was just mad because everybody just needed to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. It's too quiet.
I got to say, though, there was a woman sitting behind me in the middle of this movie, and every time something would come on screen, like when it says like the year or whatever, she would read it aloud.
Oh my god!
I wanted to open the door with her face and just throw her out.
That's brutal. I also, when I went to my theater, they kept the dim lights on like they have in theaters. They didn't turn the lights off. So I went out and complained.
Yeah, I was going to say, I immediately would have.
And then the guy's like, I get paid $10 an hour. He looked in here, he's like, man, it's kind of dark in here, and then just laughed. I was like, well, I'm not going to go out and ask again.
You got big time.
I did. But the guy was like, you don't pay me enough to turn the lights off.
Nice. All right. So I think that's our review of us. Okay, go ahead.
Stream it.
Wow.
I'm actually
Defend
gonna say
yourself.
stream it.
Yeah.
I expected a little bit more, to be honest. To sum it up, I came out of the movie theater I was a lot more excited going in, and I came out kind of let down by the ending. And yes, the cinematography is great, but personally, it's something I think you can just watch at home on the couch, to be honest.
So do you think you were at all affected by all the hype that came with it?
100%. And that's my concern with Jordan Peele, is Get Out, it was a fantastic movie. But Jordan Peele, a lot of people are going to expect the best from him now. And I did going into the theater to see this movie, and I just wasn't that impressed with what I saw.
I'd say you're in the minority.
Yeah.
But
Literally.
I would say I'm in line with what Rotten Tomatoes is at right now.
So if you had to give it a number, you think it's like mid-6?
I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
If I gave it a number.
Yeah, I still think this is definitely worth seeing.
9.
Even large format. If you can see Adobe or IMAX, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you mentioned the music and the score.
So good.
That was worth it for that alone.
Couldn't agree more.
All right. Do you guys want to do recommendations real quick, and then we'll go get some beers in these hour-long lines?
Hour-long lines. Yeah, we got to get started. I saw a video of Will Smith doing his first ever stand-up. He's like doing a bucket list thing for his YouTube page. He goes to Dave Chappelle and asks him, like he asked the master for help doing stand-up for the first time. And Will Smith actually, not surprisingly at all, kills it on the stage. It's awesome. It's like a 20-minute show. Next week, I think he's doing something about bungee jumping. He's just doing a bucket list show, basically. So go check out Will Smith.
He's got one of the biggest YouTube channels out there.
Yes.
So he does a ton of shit on YouTube. I
He's the
can't
man.
say I've ever watched any of it.
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw, and it was amazing. Will Smith's the man. He's so electrifying, honestly. He's the man.
Okay. Well, speaking of stand-up, I did catch finally the Adam Sandler stand-up that's on Netflix. For all the shit that he catches, people forget that he's actually a hilarious person.
Yeah.
He does a mixture of songs that are funny, throws in some one-liner jokes, and tells stories. It is brilliantly done. I think it's called 100% Fresh. It's on Netflix. It's amazing. It's him in a bunch of different stand-up venues, some larger, some smaller, like some actual full stadia. He is on top of his game, I think. And at the end, he does a song about Chris Farley and a song about his wife that will hit you right in the feels. So, yeah, I would absolutely check that out. Mark, what do you got?
I'm going to say on the comedic standpoint right here. So
trifecta.
I got one more to bring it down after this, so go ahead.
Really? All right. Theo Vaughn, his podcast last weekend, I think it's called, or something along that line, this past weekend. So I've been listening to this podcast for the last couple of weeks. He's a really funny guy, and this is a podcast you want to listen to if you just want to shut your brain off. And I would say Love, Death, and Robots, but I just want to open that up. When are we going to review that? Is that going to be next week? We need to talk
Do you even
about
do it? I mean, it's a series of vignettes. I don't know how you review that. You'd be reviewing every single episode.
I would like to rank our top 3, and because I think they're going to be varied.
So I've still got 3 left to go. So maybe we'll talk about those next week.
2 of my top 5 are in there, or in the bottom 3.
So I got to ask, usually the rule for stand-up is like you lead with your second strongest joke and you close with your strongest. Would you say that they close it on a higher note than they opened it with?
No, they open pretty strong. I got Sonny's Edge is my number 1, and then 3 Robots is my number 2.
I thought you said the last 3 episodes were your top 2.
We're in my top 5.
You can't expect him to remember what he said 3 minutes ago.
No idea.
I actually had it down, and he got it wrong.
Okay, so next week what we'll do is we'll talk about our 3 favorite Love, Death, and Robots episodes. So if you haven't caught that yet, it's on Netflix, streaming for free. They're like 15 minutes apiece. Some are longer, some are shorter.
Yep.
Yeah.
The anthology episodes.
Heads up for the yogurt one, because that was one of my favorites. It was just so out there.
I didn't like that one.
I didn't like that one.
You guys are insane.
I liked that one. I thought it was hilarious.
Dumb.
And a surprise appearance by Topher Grace.
Dude, Topher Grace.
Yeah.
That made my top 4.
He's going from playing the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan to Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes, amazing. That was a great episode.
All I know is they need to keep coming out with these seasons.
Yeah.
Please give me more. Give me a million.
You get a bunch of individual writers and animators. Yeah, they can definitely keep going with this.
Beautifully animated, even in their own individual way. Well, we'll just get into it next week, right?
Yeah, we'll do top 3 next week. So I got one more recommendation. It's called The Act. It's on Hulu. So this is a true story. This woman named Dee Dee Blanchard raised a daughter who she claimed had a bunch of illnesses. So she took all these donations. Like they built her a house. Habitat for Humanity built her a house. Her poor daughter was not actually sick, didn't have any of these ailments. And this is like a dramatic retelling of this fucked up story. In the end, spoilers, she fucking murders her mother. Because I would too if I went through all this bullshit.
It's like the plot of The Ring, but she doesn't. Yeah,
not even close.
Her mom was drugging her in
The Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is them still alive.
I know. Well, the ending.
She's not a ghost. She doesn't crawl out of a cellar.
The second act is the same.
All right. Anyways, the acting in this is pretty good. It's a Hulu original, and it's a really captivating story. It'll make you really mad, but also you kind of know how it ends, so maybe you'll get some satisfaction from it.
Cheers. Hulu's coming out with some good stuff, some good content.
I'm actually very surprised.
I'm a Hulu guy now.
All right, so I want to say thanks again to Chuck from Chuck Load of Comics for letting us sit in on his booth. We're doing him a little favor by eating up some time here, but he's been very kind and generous with just letting us sit down, which is very much
Chuck's
appreciated.
The man. We all know it.
Chuck is the man. So you can check him and Shauna and Tony and everybody else out on Chuck Load of Comics every Sunday on YouTube. You can find us on social media at the Chumpcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. Until next time.
Hold on, I want to give a shout out actually to C2E2 and a humble brag. They actually gave us press passes this year, and this is the greatest Comic-Con on earth. Fuck San Diego.
You've never been.
Yeah, San Diego's
Fuck
probably
New
a little
York.
better. But anyways, yeah, if you're not coming to C2E2 and you love all the nerd shit, you're missing out 100%.
Quite the experience.
Let's go party with Darian.
Let's do it. Darren, where you at? Chumps out, motherfucker. I can't hit that note. I have sinus congestion right now, so my bad.